Hello and welcome to Arts Management 256, Understanding the Arts. My name is Lydia Dildillian and I'm going to be the instructor for this course. So I've created this kind of welcome video as a way to not only introduce myself, but to also introduce the class and what it's going to be like. What I mean by that is in today's video, we're going to talk about the syllabus, course content, and the course calendar, outline our weekly agendas, and just review some basic organizational information that's going to appear on our Canvas page. So let's go ahead and dive into Canvas and our course site here and just go through the organization and what your week to week is going to look like. So first off, you're going to log into your Canvas site, Understanding the Arts section here. And that's what I've got pulled up for us. Essentially, I organize things in module units. So just click your home page and it'll just take you to the front home page here. And then you'll be able to access all of the course content each week this way. So first off, we have got our course content page listed up here. This is going to have some important course documents like our syllabus, our course calendar outline, weekly agendas, our welcome or start here video, and then some helpful tips on organization, note-taking, and all that good stuff for this class. Along with that, we have weekly modules, and this is kind of the big thing that I want to just turn our attention to and just focus on for a few minutes. We're not going to run through all of these, but I'm going to just explain essentially how you're going to organize yourself for this class and how you're going to find content and your assignments and when to do them and where to post them. So first off, like I said, I organize everything into modules for this class, specifically weekly modules. So what that means is you're going to log in maybe on Sunday night. You're going to go through and maybe make a note on your calendar, your weekly agenda, your phone, however you take notes to set yourself up for your work week. And you're going to essentially run through all of the big stuff that you need to go through the class. For those of you who have never taken an asynchronous online class before, essentially what that means is it's like a guided independent study. Okay. For those of you who've already taken an asynchronous class, you might already have a good workflow for how you need to organize and set up your day or your week for a class like this. But for those of you who don't have any access to this, this is going to be really helpful for this little quick run through. So like I said, Sunday night, sit down, go through your classes and see what you need to do for that week. In particular, it's going to be really important that you do that with this class. Like I said, I want you to view this as like a guided independent study. So you're going to sit down, write all the things that you need to do, and then that's going to consist of how you're going to organize those assignments, those to-do lists, those lectures, those chapter readings, whatever that may be that you need to do that week, and organize when you're going to fit that into your week, okay? It's going to most likely not mean that you're going to be able to sit down all in one time period and knock all this stuff out. This is organized to be commensurate as an in-person lecture class like this class would normally be. So you do have kind of a 2-day lecture load, if you will, for each week. So just pace yourself through it and make sure that you are keeping on task and keeping on, kind of aware of what you need to be doing each week. So first of all, like I said, I organize in weekly modules. So that means we're just going to look at week 1 here for our first example. So for week 1, you're going to, after you're done watching this video, start by reading your Art Forum Chapter 1, the art or the nature of art and creativity. That's going to be an Art Forums book, aka Chapter 1. You're going to always have that weekly module number, so you're going to know what week we're on. This is also going to be really clearly listed too in our course calendar outline, so in case you get confused, just check here and see what reading you need to do and all that good stuff in case you're confused. But your chapter reading is always going to be right under that week number, okay? It's really important that you read the chapters in this book. That's going to be a large part of your course content that you're going to be getting from this class. And I've organized essentially all of the content to focus or revolve around that chapter reading. This is kind of the easiest way to organize an asynchronous class, is have that kind of pivotal text that we kind of rotate content around. So always make sure that you do that chapter reading in that week. Like I said, I give you a week to space out how you're going to read that. Read some a little bit at night if you want, or read it all in one go. However you want to do that, that is completely up to you. Then after you get done with your chapter reading, then essentially you may have some lectures to watch. This can vary on terms of how many lectures you have to watch, the duration or length of those lectures, and also where those lectures are coming from. So for example, you may have lectures that are coming from me directly, meaning that I will organize a slideshow lecture on Google Slides, and then maybe attach that slideshow lecture to a video that I post on YouTube, and then give you a link essentially that's going to look something like this. Those lectures can really range quite a bit in time. They may be, 10 minutes, 15 minutes long. Some of them may be 45 minutes long. So it's really going to range on time duration and what that content is, and specifically what unit we're in. So just be aware of that. The other section of this is too, some of this might be curated content. I am pulling kind of 50-50 in this class, to be perfectly honest. There are some really, really great art historians, artists, and other institutions that just have put together some really fantastic content. And particularly, I like some of the way those art historians and experts are talking about some of those pieces in particular, and also the way they've been edited. Sometimes I don't have the time to sit down and edit something the way that a full production team is able to edit something. So sometimes there's a reason that I'm choosing some of the content from YouTube and some of these institutions that I personally really like to provide you with extra content and some supportive information for some of those chapter readings. All right, so just be aware, some of this might be curated content that I find from other institutions of notable credibility, and then some of this might be from yours truly. All right. Some of the lectures, and we'll just talk about this real quick too. If you do, there is a couple of chapters or a couple of weeks that I do give you quite a bit of lectures to watch. Now, if you do see a long string of lectures, let's see like 8 lectures in a row, don't freak out. Those are usually going to be like 2 to 3 minutes long each. And it's usually something from like Kane Academy, where they just specifically talk about one piece, and they talk about the context, some specific kind of, stylistic tendencies, and also the historical importance of that piece, but they sum it up really quickly in like 2 minutes. So if you ever do have a long strain of lectures, don't freak out. I'm not giving you a crap load of work. They're most likely just going to be like 2 or 3 minutes long. Okay. And then after that, then you're going to have a kind of text header here that says assignments. In your assignment category, that's where you'll have essentially the things that qualify that information that you've learned. Each week you are going to have a quiz based off of that chapter reading and or lectures. As I mentioned, you will always have a chapter reading, and sometimes you may have additional video lectures to watch with that chapter reading. Your quizzes are always going to be over the content that's in your chapter reading and these lectures if there are lectures posted with that week module. Now, as I mentioned, sometimes I may include lectures, sometimes maybe I just want you to have a little bit lighter load and I want you to just watch or read your chapter. Okay, so just be aware that if you don't see maybe any lectures, video lectures, don't freak out. Maybe I just want you guys to have a little bit of a lighter week. Most likely, there will always be a video lecture worked into the course. We do have a really great book, Art Forums, but sometimes it can be a little bit limited in its scope. So that's why I will provide that extra feedback and content with the lecture videos. But getting back to the quizzes are going to be pretty simple in terms of their format. It's all on Canvas. And they are mostly going to be multiple choice, anywhere from like 10 questions to 20 at absolute max. Most of them are about 10 questions each. They're open book and open note, so you will be able to use your notes and your book and lectures to answer those questions. The way I've designed the quiz is that I give you essentially a recommended due date. I do highly, highly encourage you to complete the quizzes in that week. The way the quizzes are designed is really quantitative, meaning that after you absorb all of this information and content from the chapter and the lecture videos, it's going to be best that you go ahead and just do the quiz, because then all of that information is sitting forefront in your brain, rather than waiting a couple of weeks and then doing the quiz where that information has faded a little bit. So I'm going to highly encourage everybody to take the quiz right after they get done reading their chapter tests or their chapter their designated chapter and then their lectures. But in case something happens, there are no late penalties or deduction of points if you do turn the quiz in late. Quizzes can be taken at any time in the semester. I leave them all open all the way until week 15. Week 16 is our finals week, so just be aware of that. And that's kind of the end cap on when you can turn in or submit a quiz. All right. Okay, so that's going to be basically the description of what we've got for organization. Essentially, that's going to be what you do each week. Just make sure you are aware of what week it is and what corresponding text or chapter you're in your course text, and you'll be fine. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into our syllabus. So we're going to go ahead and click on our syllabus. I will provide, if I do give any lectures, like I said, I will be providing you with a slide link through Google Slides. It will be a link that pops up like this. All of the videos will also have a kind of embedded link up top. So essentially, if you get maybe an error message, this has been happening to me in some of my lectures for some reason, and I don't know why. But if there's an error message where maybe perhaps the video isn't loading properly, all you have to do is just click the title up here and it'll take you directly to that link. Not only for Google Slides or Google Docs, but also for YouTube videos. So don't freak out. Once again, just click this little section here, click it, and it'll take you directly to whatever link that is, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and dive into our course content and our syllabus. So first off, I've already introduced myself, but once again, my name is Lydia Dildillion. Here's my school email. This is where you can reach me at. Here is my cell number. I do give you the really nice privilege of contacting me on my personal cell. I've got this thing pretty much attached to my hip. So feel free to text me if you have any problems or if maybe some technical issues occur. This is a lot of new content in the class. And so whenever I teach new content, I always like to give that caveat to my students. If there is something that goes wrong on my end, please just let me know immediately so I can fix it and we don't have to worry about anything. I am a human being. Mistakes happen. Sometimes I forget to push save when I am closing or saving my content. It happens, right? Perhaps I haven't had my coffee or whatever for that day, right? So if something does happen, or if you notice perhaps that there is a submission that you have to maybe turn in for one of your assignments and the submission button isn't showing up, just let me know and then I'll turn it on and it'll be good. All right, so feel free to text me if you have any questions. I do also have digital office hours. I use a server or an application called Discord. If you haven't heard of Discord, essentially, I think it's just a better version of Zoom. It's primarily, the reason I think it's better is because it's 24 hours, meaning that I don't have to invite you to a call. It just is an open forum for text and video and image share and communications. So if you are familiar with Discord, then you're going to like this. This has been a really, really big boon to a lot of my students because they have been easily able to get in contact with me. And this is just a nice way where we can do a digital, virtual call like this, and you can see my face and stuff like that. So yeah, this has been really, really helpful for a lot of my students. My virtual office hours are as listed here. Monday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If those times and dates do not work from you, it also is by appointment. So just shoot me an email if you want to meet outside of those times, and we'll find something that works. All right, so once again, this is Art Management 256, Understanding the Arts, an asynchronous online class for UWGB Fall Semester 2021. This class is worth 3 credits. So we're going to go over the big course content and goals. Essentially, our course content is like our goals, but just kind of itemized. So I'm just going to paraphrase here a little bit. Feel free to read this on your own so you have a better, clearer kind of understanding about what we're going to be covering in this class. Essentially, what we are doing in Understanding the Arts is essentially it's kind of like an art appreciation class, but a little bit more informative than that. So what I mean by that is our main goal for the course is introducing students to the world of visual and performing arts. We're going to be including language, content, forms, function, objects, styles, types, methodologies for critically evaluating artwork and how it functions in society. That's the big goal for this class and pretty much what you need to know in terms of goals and objectives and content. We're going to be doing all of that in a variety of different ways. So what I mean by that is we're not only going to be reading from a really great course text, art forms, but we're also going to be learning about it in a virtual way through video lectures. Sometimes those lectures, like I said, may come from me. Sometimes it might be curated content that I've selected. Then we're also going to be able to quantify some of that knowledge and putting that into actuality through quizzes to make sure that we're understanding the content. And then we're going to have some really fun assignments that are written assignments or art assignments where we learn how to didactically simulate and even talk about some of that really great content that we've learned and kind of, make some really cool stuff. All right, so essentially we're going to be developing a variety of vocabulary to identify and connect with understanding the arts. This is going to primarily facilitate a lot of discussions about how artwork expresses ideas that evolve around humanity. We're going to really be recognizing and appreciating and evaluating the meaningful and important roles that art play throughout our society. We're also going to be really diving into some really critical and necessary critical tools and approaches for how to talk about art, how to engage with art, what the significant roles of art play out in society, and how we can really create some interesting conversations and also learn from some of these artists and what they're doing and saying about humanity at large. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about in this class. So, pretty cool stuff, really. All right. So our content, like I said, is going to range a little bit. We're going to dive into that a little bit more specifically when we get into that section. Our book that you're going to need to order is Art Forms, 12th edition, and it is a really great freaking book. So you can buy this on an ebook through Amazon or go to the bookstore. We're going to pop over here to our Phoenix bookstore real quick. If you've never ordered a textbook before, I'm just going to show you how to do this. I've already got some autosave features, it looks like. So you're going to go ahead and access UWGB Green Bay online campus. And then we're going to go ahead and select our term. So it's going to be fall 2021 main campus, find course. And then you're going to go down to here. Oh, look, I've already got this saved. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and pretend this isn't saved. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select department. So this is an arts management class. So I'm going to go select art MGT. Then we're going to select our course, so 256. And then we're going to select our section. It actually doesn't really matter. Both myself and another instructor are using the same text, but for clarity's sake, we're going to go ahead and push our select section, which is 0801, and we're going to go ahead and find our course materials. So you can go ahead and rent this book if you want, either used or new, but it seems like they have the same price. I like how it says great value for the used one. Okay, anyways, or you can do a digital copy for 55 bucks. You can also find this on Amazon, like I said, if you want to use a different, distributor like Craig's or Chegs or whatever they call that site. Anyways, if you want to use a different manufacturer or different distributor, feel free to select your preferred distributor. Anyways, all right, so that's the book that we're going to be using. It is required. Each week I am going to be assigning a chapter quiz, and as I mentioned, or a chapter text for you to read. That quiz that's going to be due each week is going to be off of a majority of the text material. And also that chapter quiz or chapter itself is going to be really pivotal because I'm essentially organizing content to fit around that topic. Okay, so it's going to be really important that you read those chapters. All right, materials. This is going to be the stuff that you need that falls outside of the class text. You're going to need some basic pens, pencils. I suggest instead of buying colored pencils that you buy markers, colored markers instead. Just buy the simple stuff like Crayola, like $1 that you can get at the dollar store, or $2 that you can buy at the dollar store. Don't be buying any fancy art materials or supplies. If you have colored pencils, feel free to use those too. And a sketchbook or drawing paper. If you don't want to buy a sketchbook, if you don't want to spend the money, don't buy a sketchbook. Just get some loose leaf printer paper. That'll also work too for this class. You might also need a notebook for taking notes, glue sticks, some magazines or old photos. You will need scissors and some miscellaneous art supplies as you find helpful for the course. So that's going to be stuff that I'm going to ask you to buy and that you'll need throughout the course for us as well. All right, course format. So this is going to break down essentially 4 major digital services that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we're going to be looking and using Canvas, YouTube, Google Docs /slides, and Discord. I've already introduced you to what Canvas is, so you should have a clear understanding about how we need to use that system and that platform for your success in the course. If you do have any technical difficulty, please email me directly, Cattle or IT. If it's stuff pertaining to, or if you have issues rather, pertaining to course content, aka maybe something isn't popping up like a turn-in section or submission button, that's on my end. Contact me immediately. If it's larger issues like you can't access the Canvas course, I don't have permission to allow you access, you're going to have to call IT and then they'll direct you or, fix the problem themselves, okay? Canvas is going to be basically our go-to place for turning in all of our projects, for you to find due dates, for you to access course content, right? So it's going to be our big hub of information. Like I said, I do a pretty good job organizing. I've taught a variety of different online classes and different platforms and different modalities throughout the years. So I do have a pretty good, clear idea on how workflow needs to be managed and organized for a digital space. So if you have any issues, just let me know and I'll help you figure it out. All right, so that's going to be Canvas. YouTube, like I said, we're going to be using YouTube in a variety of different ways. Like I said, some video lectures will be posted in our course weekly to-do lists or modules. So some of those YouTube videos, like I said, might be lectures from yours truly, or some of those might be curated content that I find from reputable sources that I think they just talk really good about some of the works. So yeah, and I use those instead. So YouTube's going to be something that we access. Like I said, some of our links have been working absolutely fine. Some of them, for some unknown reason, have been just doing some weird, funky stuff. So we're going to wait for this to load. All right, that's a good sign. This is a good sign. This is live. This is on the moment. All right, so as I mentioned before, like I said, if anything does funky happen with any of the video links, just simply click the title up top here. I know this is an example of a Google Doc, but it's going to be the same thing for a video link. Just go ahead and click that, and I'll take you directly to where you need to go for a YouTube video. All right, Google Docs and slides. As I mentioned, if I do any lectures, most likely I will make a slide for those lectures. So feel free to go ahead and access those slides if you want to have any of that content available to you at your fingertips, or if you just want that kind of slides and things like that. All right, so that'll be great. Then we also have our Discord server. So if you've never used Discord before, or you don't know how to use it, first of all, you're going to need to download that. So click this here. This is going to take you to the Discord section. They give you all these great platforms that you can download. So if you are using a Mac or ISO system, an Android, Linux, right, Windows, any of those kind of other formats, all you have to do is simply just download it and then go through your requisite platform or whatever kind of computer or software that you're using requires, and just go through your download stuff. Then from there, once you get it all downloaded, then you're going to push this link here. This is going to take you directly into our Discord section of our class. So it's gonna pop up once you download your Discord server into a little application like this. Then essentially all you have to do is just access our link here. It's gonna take you directly into our class Discord channel. And then you can talk to me directly on Discord during office hours, or you can even post some of your work or questions, or even talk to your fellow peers about the class in your Discord section. So it can be a really great tool. If you need help downloading for a Mac or a PC, I have included some YouTube video links here. All you have to simply do is just push the here button, and that'll take you to your requisite PC or Mac devices for downloading tips. All right, course organization and delivery. I pretty much just talked to you about how our course organization is going to look like, but in case you need some qualifiers, I just wrote out a little statement for you here. I do have pretty much some really simple organizational tips for our assignments. Any assignments, and I'm pretty sure I already reviewed this, but just in case, any assignments that are going to be due are always going to be marked with this yellow little dot. So that's a good way just to give you a nice visual to say, okay, here is what we're doing. This needs to be turned in. So that's a nice little visual for you. Like I said, make sure that you log in on Sunday, write down all the things that you need to do in your agenda. Whether that agenda happens to be in a phone or a piece of paper. Make sure that you're keeping a really nice to-do list for yourself. This is just a good how-to college tip. You should be doing that for all of your courses the Sunday before any of your classes start. Just write down an itemized list of what you need to do for that week. So that way you keep yourself prepared, mentally on task, and that's a good way to manage your stress level, okay? So do that. And then once again, like I said, this is a guided kind of independent study. Have that approach to it. Fit that content in, whether that is the reading and lectures or the quizzes and maybe other assignments. Fit that into your week as needed, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our course calendar. I've got a really great course calendar for you for this class. It does break down everything in a really nice itemized way. We're going to go back down to, or we're going to click over rather to our Canvas site once again. We're going to go into that main course content section here, and you're going to see that course calendar outline. So this is essentially our outline for the course calendar. So we've got really a very, very easy system here. So we've got module weekly units, topics, readings, and then due dates. So that's going to be really, really helpful for you. We do have more kind of extensive art and written assignments, which we haven't talked about yet, but we're going to get to in just a few moments. Those are going to be highlighted in Puce just to give you kind of a nice visual on when those things are due and how to space that out. But essentially each week you'll be able to go to this section and just say, what do I need to do this week? Week one, right? We already know what that's like, the nature of art and creativity. So that's the topic that we're going to be focusing on. What chapter reading is that? That's chapter 1. And then what do you have due that week? That's going to be that quiz. And then there's the recommended due date for it there. So essentially you're going to be able to go through each week and be able to figure out what you need to do for that week. Like I said, some weeks you'll have maybe one thing due, some weeks you may have a couple of assignments due, okay? So this is a good way just to keep you organized, to keep you on task, and to help organize your life a little bit more. So in case you get confused, if the modules don't make sense to you, or if you just need that written out for you, feel free to check out the course calendar outline there, okay? So that's going to be one way for you to stay really organized and just stay on task and on topic for the class. Also, and along with the course calendar, I'm going to essentially be giving you kind of to-do lists or agendas, if you will, in our announcement section. So if you don't know what the announcement section is, that is a little section up here. I don't currently have any announcements for us when I'm making this video. I might by the time we actually get to class. But essentially our announcement section is here. Essentially, you're going to be getting a UWGB email of any announcements that I post in this section from our Canvas class. I would also ask you to review our weekly announcements on Sunday evening before class. This is just going to essentially be a little agenda on what you're going to need to do for that week. Most of the information that you'll be able to find on our weekly agendas are going to be found in our course calendars, but it's just a nice little friendly reminder and me touching base with you saying, hey, how you doing? This is the stuff that you need to complete this week. Good luck, have fun. Once again, if you need to contact me, here's my stuff, right? So it's just another way for me to touch base with you and to remind you of the things that you need to do that week. So that's going to also be something that's going to be nice for you to have. Weekly agendas are not going to be appearing anywhere else other than weekly agendas in our announcement section here. So just be clear and be aware of that. And if you need to see those, remember to check out the announcement section on the course calendar. All right. Okay, so you're welcome for that. All right, we'll go into course modules. We've already reviewed how I think about the class and how I'm organizing it in modules, so just stay tuned to that and make sure you're staying organized and paying attention to those weekly modules. All right, course requirements. So we do have a couple of course requirements. I've got 5 main types of assignment activities for the class. Essentially, we have written assignments, and we have art assignments, and then we've got quizzes. You already know what the quizzes are. Those are going to be due every single week of the class. Once again, you are not going to have to worry about any late points if you do turn that in late. These are going to be remaining open. All quizzes will be remaining open until the very end of the semester. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, they're going to be worth anywhere from 10 to 20 points, just depending upon how many questions I ask you in those multiple choice question format quizzes. All right. So we do have 2 other work assignments or activity assignments. So we're going to go ahead and review those now. We have written assignments and we have art assignments. The written assignments are essentially a medium to small length writing assignment that will be assigned throughout the year. Now, I only have, I think, registered right now 2 writing assignments for you. Like I said, they're medium to small kind of length, so they're not like really intensive writing assignments, so don't freak out. But these assignments are really going to help build that context and contextual kind of summary and analysis that I really want you to build for this class. Essentially, they're writing assignments that are really carefully kind of designed to really help you master those writing skills, but also to think about the art in a really complex way. Writing skills are really, really important, and this class does have a writing up component into it. So this is going to go ahead and fulfill that part of the course. So I do have some basic writing things for you to do here. Writing assignment should be completed in size 12 font. Use detailed sans serif fonts like Calibri, Nonito, and Arial. Use 1/2 to double space, no indenting, black text only. We also have other kind of things too. Like I said, these don't have a specific limited requirement of writing. I'm not going to say do a paragraph, do 2 paragraphs. If I do specify, do what I'm asking, but most likely I don't think there's any kind of writing length requirement for these assignments. Rather, I want you to think about these as a kind of way to explain your ideas thoroughly and make sure that you're answering the writing prompts in a fully completed and resolved manner. So that's going to be the big point here. I don't necessarily have a specific measurement of writing that I want you to complete, like a paragraph or a page, but I really want you to think about, are you fully exercising this idea properly, and are you able to answer that writing prompt in a succinct and completed way, okay? Turning in art evaluations or writing assignments are going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to ask that you submit them either in 2 different ways. You can turn them into a text entry section where you type it out. If you do it that way, I'm going to highly encourage you to write it on a Google Doc first, then copy paste it, and then turn it into this section on Canvas. Or you could copy, you could make it on a Google Doc and then essentially just copy paste your Google Doc shareable link into the turn-in section on the Canvas page. Now, if you don't know how to create a Google Doc shareable link, it's actually really easy. Essentially, what you're going to go do is you're going to push share. That's going to be in the top right-hand corner, and then you're going to essentially be able to get this link. I always go into change, and then I actually click view, and then I push copy link, and then done. Okay, then from there you'll be able to go into our writing assignment section and then just post it like normal. Okay, if you need some more help with that, feel free to contact me and I can make a little video for you or just show you how to do it on Discord. Okay. So like I said, it's going to be really, really important to make sure you get a shareable link. Sometimes it's the only problem that I have with Google Docs is that the first time you copy the link, it doesn't copy properly. So that's why I always recommend going in and just pushing view, view only, right? And then copy link and then push done. So that gives you the shareable link. If you just copy the first thing that pops up, sometimes it's not the correct link and I have to like email you to get access, and it's a big old rigmarole. So make sure you just do that thing that I just did. So go back and rewatch the video and make sure that you push change, get view, copy link, and done. And then copy paste it into the transaction. All right, so that's that too. If you would prefer, if you don't want to go through all of that, you could also just come over here to Google Docs, push download, and then you can either download that onto a Microsoft Word platform or a PDF platform. I'd highly recommend using a PDF format if you're going to turn in any documents to me. Sometimes Microsoft, I am using a Mac primarily. Sometimes Microsoft has some weird conversions when it's from a Mac to a PC. So just go ahead and use PDF format for me. Okay. All right, I think that's it. All right, so I do give you essentially 2 weeks to complete writing assignments. So it's always going to be due the week after the assignment is assigned on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So you'll have plenty of time to turn that in and complete it. All right, art assignments. These are really fun. I do not have any expectation that you have any prior art experience or art knowledge. I don't want you to look at them as stressful activities. And if you have, apprehension about making a piece of work, don't worry about it. I'm not going to judge you, right? I just want you guys to have fun and kind of learn in a very didactic way through material. This is an art appreciation class, for better or for worse. So I want you guys to play around with some things and make some images. We're going to be talking about so much work, and we're going to be learning about so many cool ideas and thoughts and cultures. I want you guys to exercise that some. So I have a couple of art assignments for you. I'm personally really pumped to see how they turn out. So I want you to have fun with them and just be creative and exercise what you know and what you've learned through the class, right? So that's kind of how I'm viewing these. These assignments are really going to range on what they ask you to do. But essentially, I want you to think about as visual problem solving. So I'm going to give you a kind of art prompt, if you will. That's going to be the art assignment itself. And then I want you to create a piece of work based off those ideas or that prompt that I give you. Then essentially, you're going to document that work with your smartphone. You can do this in a couple of different ways. How you want to access that email, or how you want to access that image and then get it to your computer. You could do this, you could send the image through, there's a million ways to do this. All right, you could send it to your email, you could use Google Photo and then download it to Google Photo. You could copy paste it and put it into a Google Doc and then just send it to me that way. There's like a million different ways that you can do this. If you do get stressed out about how to submit an image on Canvas, just let me know. I do give you a recommended version for me that I want you to do. Primarily, it's just putting an image onto a Google Doc, then giving me a shareable link, or like I said, just downloading it onto a PDF and then uploading it to our Canvas site. That's perfectly fine. That's what I'm going to highly recommend you do. If you have some technical issues or if you don't understand this, don't worry. Just give me a text or shoot me an email and I'll walk you through the process, and it won't be a big deal, okay? So those are always going to have essentially 2 weeks, just as the writing assignment will. So they're always going to be due a week after they're assigned on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So like I said, these are fun assignments. I'm not expecting you to make great masterworks, but rather I want to just see you fully exercising that knowledge that you have built from course materials and applying it in a kind of interesting and exploratory and expansive kind of way. Okay. Quizzes, we've already went to them. You already know them by now. I'm kind of still debating. Currently, I have this right now, and this is maybe where you're going to need to read over the syllabus on your own. I'm still debating on whether I want to have you do them in one attempt or if I should give you 2 attempts. My gut's saying maybe 2. I think that would be really easy, though, if I gave you 2 attempts. I'm still thinking about this, though. That's my point. But the quizzes themselves are going to be multiple choice. Like I said, they're going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 points. I'm going to really think about it the next week about whether I want to give you 1 attempt or 2 attempts, or I might just play it by ear. If I notice you guys are struggling on these, I might just open it up for 2 attempts. So just keep an eye on that. That may change or may be updated. If I do have any updates, I'll let you know via announcement, aka our announcement section on Canvas, which you will get an email on your UWGB email. All right. Yeah, that's about it. Those are going to be due weekly, like I said. Once again, if you can't do them that week, I do give you a little bit of a grace period on those, or not a little bit. I give you a great grace period on those, so you won't receive any late points for any late quizzes. Then we have 2 last assignments. Excuse me. That's going to be a midterm, which is a collage-based project. This is such a cool assignment, and so I hope you guys really have fun and learn a lot through this. But this is a collage-based assignment. It's essentially going to be somewhat revolving around the chapter that you're going to be reading for this particular week, but also a little bit reflective of things that we've learned thus far. And then your final exam is going to be more of a creative project as well. This gets both into a visual and written kind of assignment, so you're going to be creating your own focused exhibition. We'll talk about this more when this gets closer to the date, but essentially you're going to be creating a Google slide presentation for me, and it's going to be based off of a selected content that you create and what you would do if you could make your own creative exhibition. So it's going to be a really great project. All right, extra credit. I do give you a couple of extra credit opportunities throughout the semester. Essentially, they're going to be active art assignments or active writing assignments. I will let you know when I'm going to go ahead and open these up. I always encourage extra credit because it's a good way for you to get some points back and to cushion your grade in case something happens later on in the semester. So I do give you extra credit opportunities. I think I currently have 3 right now. I could be wrong on that, but just keep an eye out for those. Here's my attendance policy. We don't really have attendance for this class. It is a self-guided class, so just make sure you're staying on top of your stuff. This is honestly the hardest part about asynchronous classes. I feel like sometimes students feel like they're really alone in it, and that's something I don't want any of you to feel like. So if you ever are feeling alone, if you're feeling like you're just like by yourself, reach out to me, or better yet, you could also contact your peers via Discord. And this is once again where I'm going to wax poetic about the beauty of Discord. It's a great platform. You guys can talk to each other, you can connect, you can talk about the quizzes or projects, or if you guys need help, contact each other. That way you won't feel alone or feel so isolated. So that's a really great way to stay connected and involved with your peers. All right. All right, grading scales. So this is what the percentage breakdown is for our class assignments. Writing assignments and art assignments are both worth 20% of your grade. Weekly quizzes are 25. We've got a lot of those. So if you miss 1 or 2, it's not going to kill you. And it's not going to totally, tank your grade. Midterm project's worth 15, and then your final project is worth 20%. That's going to equal 100% of your grade, all that good stuff. This is how I weight an A, B, C, D, E, and F. Or I guess E is not in this program, sorry. All right, academic honesty. I take this very seriously, so much so that I have a really long written section here. So I'm going to highly encourage you to read over this and read this thoroughly. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but just know that I take this very seriously. I do not accept plagiarism in any form, and it will not be tolerated in my class. I do, for all of your writing assignments, make sure that I turn it into software like Turnitin that checks for plagiarism. If I do notice any plagiarism, I will contact you and Dean of Students immediately, and then they will take over from how they want to handle it. Also for art assignments, I do not want to see any other students' work or any of your family members completing these artist assignments. Like I said, I am not going to judge you. I am not going to, the point of these art assignments is for you to learn creatively and didactically from them and express and learn knowledge in a different hands-on way. So they're really beneficial for you, and especially for students who learn in an active kind of tactile way. So I do not want to see you using other people to make these assignments in any kind of fashion. If you are unfamiliar with the policies regarding academic dishonesty, please visit this link. This is the UWGB link officially for plagiarism policies. Avoiding plagiarism link. This is actually a really good link that I don't think enough students look at. So I went ahead and put this in. This is through our library system at UWGB, and it's some helpful kind of tips for avoiding plagiarism in your writing. I am going to expect that you credit and cite your sources. So I have a link here for you in case you don't know how to do that. I've got it here. This is some basic citation issues that pop up, and also some tips for helping you cite your source. I also have an MLA and an APA format here. I prefer MLA format since I am kind of more in the arts, right? So we're kind of used to more humanities courses. So this is kind of my preferred kind of style, but yeah, so that's kind of how I would prefer you to cite your sources. But if you're really unclear about MLA and you're used to APA, I'm not going to be too picky. As long as you're citing your sources in a credible, substantiated way, I'll be fine with it. So I have a nice little visual for you here in case you really don't understand the written kind of context of this. I have a nice visual for you here. Please make sure you cite all of your sources, especially for the writing sections of this class. Like I said, we do have 2 papers. Make sure that you cite those sources when you do reference something or you do quote something, okay? All right, students with disabilities. Please contact me if you have any kind of learning disabilities, any kind of physical issues, or if you have any technical issues with the class. Please contact me immediately. Make sure that you do send me your proper forms that are linked in with the Student Disability Services. Those forms are really, really important for me, so I can give you that available time or extra time if you need it, or any accommodations that you might need. Make sure that you are fully signed up and registered with Disability Services. They've got some really great people working there, and I am more than willing to help you in any way that I possibly can. All right. Once again, if you don't have their number, I just went ahead and listed it here for you. You can also access their link. Just go into UWGB and type in Disability Services, and you can find all their great stuff linked in there. All right, technical assistance. Like I said, this is a new class for me in terms of content. So a lot of the new assignments have been posted for the first time. There's always some hiccups the first time around. No matter how many times I like review a project and like go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, there's always something that falls through the cracks. So if there are any technical issues on my side, feel free to email me. I will get to it immediately, and I apologize in advance if that happens. If it's something that is institutional, meaning that you can't access the Canvas site for some unknown reason, please make sure to contact IT immediately so they can start working on it. Especially too with COVID, IT is just taking so much longer with everything. That's no fault on theirs. They're just really overwhelmed. So the sooner you can get on that issue, the better. Okay. In the meantime, if you are having IT issues or connection issues with Canvas, let me know so I will send you or forward you the content via email or something. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. How to contact me. So I give you a nice list here of how to contact me. Email or Discord are really, really great ways. Like I said too, I give you my cell phone number, so feel free to contact me on my cell phone and all that good stuff. I do, once again, have our course outline listed here in case you just want to look at it here. It's always at the bottom of our syllabus as well. All right, so that's going to be basically the overview for this class. Like I said, make sure to really pay attention to your weekly agendas. Make sure to set yourself up for success by making an itemized list of to-do things for yourself on Sunday nights. Make sure to read your chapters fully, watch the lectures if there are lectures for that week, and to make note of any assignments that are due for that week, okay? If you do have any technical issues or if you just need to talk about anything else, please feel free to call, email, or get a hold of me on Discord. I'm always here for you. I'm always here to support you. I'm really, really looking forward to getting to work with everybody this year. And I know this is going to be asynchronous, but we're going to have a fun time still, and hopefully you're going to learn a lot from the lectures and you're going to have a fun time. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on week 1 and week 2. So have a great day, and yeah, bye.